Guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution, and thanks for being here today. This is sort of an impromptu message from Spirit. It's very strongly guided to bring it for the remainder of the Mercury retrograde period, and even kind of going in after that for some healing that could be brought in at this time. And I do feel I've been purging a lot, going through a lot of different stuff. Just a minute, guys. And I'm back. So with the healing stuff, I was really guided today to bring in the past life oracle as well as some other messages from Spirit on what we can kind of know for the next little bit with this Mercury retrograde. As well as before I get going, I was really guided to bring this. I just finished this book. It's called Morning Star, A Warrior Spirit. And this is a story about a first generation woman who was raised native, right, but raised not in residential schools. And the story that she tells I can relate to in so many ways, and I read this in 2 days and I'm being really guided. Like, so if anybody is called to read this, it's heart-wrenching, it's gripping, it deals with some very traumatic events in people's lives, but how I always feel is the personal is political. So I just wanted to bring this out there if there's anybody feeling you need a healing. This woman kind of broke my soul open for a little bit, and then it was like allowed me to, I cried through this, I laughed through this, and just again, it's called Morning Star, A Warrior Spirit. And there is a passage at the end that I want to read for you because it was so, after reading the book, this is what us warriors do. We fight up and stand for other people, or we've encountered dangerous, difficult situations in our lives that we rise above and use those as sort of a stepping stone in the backbone of our lives and who we are. And if we have the ability to roar and roar loud enough that we can help other people, got my salt lamp here, but it's important to use our voice. So I'll just read this before I get going into this. I'm being really asked to. So, warrior women. So if you are not a woman, it doesn't matter. It's that harness, that woman spirit, or that feminine spirit within yourself, or even just to stand up with the women in your life, with the women of the world, and kind of see things from a different perspective is what I'm hearing. To the ones who are strong enough to dance and slay their demons, to the ones who are slain by their demons, and to the ones carried away by their demons to live in the hell they have created for themselves, aimlessly lost in shame and cycles, to those whose eyes have been gouged from their heads and whose tongues have been cut from so the truth cannot be spoken and reality unseen, we, the warriors, will tell our truth and own it. So don't cry, little sisters. If you do, it's not in vain. We, the warriors, hear your cries, because we have listened to our own and have given them a voice. If that touched any of you, if you feel like, you kind of need a little bit of a reminder of what a warrior spirit is, this crosses generational lines. And why I found it very healing and interesting for me was because even if we can remove some of the situations that I didn't encounter, there's other spots in this that I resonated so much with. And she actually talks about it at one point, she became a speaker, public speaker later on, talking to other women who had gone through similar plights as her, and feeling like defeated, feeling like, why is she even doing this? And then that's when someone came up to her and said, you spoke to me, you helped me, thank you. And if this woman Morningstar ever sees it, thank you. But I felt like I wanted to do a video on it. I wanted to study this. I read this book in 2 days, and it was like I needed to decompress. It needed to allow me to fully understand, like, why was this? And I went to the library. This is the first book I picked, and it was meant to come with me, and I couldn't stop reading it. So for any of you warriors, if you've dealt with any kind of trauma, I will say there's sexual trigger warning, guys. I don't want to send you in blind there, but if there's any sort of issues like that in your life that you feel like you're ready to explore, honestly, I suggest this book, okay? So I'm going to get started. I'm being asked, I'm going to call in Archangel Michael, my team of light, and I'm going to call in my warrior spirit as well to be with us today and to guide, guard, bless, and protect this reading, and any of you guys as well who would ask for it. If you want your angels, your warrior by your side, all you need to ask, your guides, just ask that they're here for your highest good and that they help show you the way, and be open to the communication that they're going to give you. So I'm being guided first off to bring the Steampunk Tarot. And let's get going. Oh, two folds. We get the Moon and the Ten of Pentacles. Clarify this, please, Moon. Before I talk too much on that, I do feel like there's things, and this for me as well, is there's things hidden, right? And this is definitely that time of Mercury retrograde. This book as well, for me, and this is not about me, right? But if there's something that activates you, something that triggers you, triggers an emotional reaction, something that you can connect with deeply on an emotional level, something that brings out the warrior spirit in yourself, hold that, okay? That Ten of Pentacles, this is more than just about happy family. And you have the bottom here, this Nine of Swords. It's about being able to go through kind of this, now I'm hearing illusionary parts of our minds, but it's also the subconscious mind, the stuff that's still buried underneath, that it takes time to illuminate. But when the time is right, you can own these things, okay? And bring happiness, take the nightmare situation out. So it could be as well that this could be timing as well with the full moon. I believe we're just coming into a new moon starting up pretty soon here. We've got the last little slivers. So you could also use the moon. But pay attention down here to, I'm hearing what was the lesson, what's the information that is hidden or about to be revealed to you, if it's being revealed in the ethers. But I feel like also with there's a tarot reader, kind of mystic oracle reader, someone down here, right, who is kind of foretelling the tale here of this happy family. So there's something more. What come out here was we have the Eight of Pentacles. So we have the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and Death. Not surprising as well throughout this to see the Death. I really do feel like a lot of this is, I'm not going to keep all these cards. I'm going to put it back and kind of get the intuitive, because that's what's coming through. I'm going to use these. But I feel like to be able to dive into this illusionary mystic realm, okay, to see with the other eyes, or to see with the other sight that you've been given, to see in between the cracks is also what I'm hearing, and to see this is also that feminine power, right? The moon is Cancer. Cancer's ruling planet as well. So if you guys, any Cancers watching, the moon could be also affecting you. The solar and lunar eclipses that have that we've been experiencing as well. This could also be a sign saying the moon is doing its stuff to bring healing to the situations that you need to heal in order for you to feel like you're willing and able to accept this Ten of Cups, to have that happiness in your life, regardless of whether, you know, it's the dog and the kid and the happy marriage, or whether whatever it is to you that brings happiness and peace and peaceful living, right? What it is to you, I'm tongue-tied, okay? What it is to you that's everything. What makes you feel like the Queen of Pentacles, nurturing and nurtured, grounded, not being without, balanced, able and willing to communicate here with this Knight of Swords, and potentially as well having learned lessons from the past. Balanced communication, so this is Two of Pentacles, balance in our life, learning the lessons from what's gone by, and balance in our communication. Okay, this is also, I'm hearing like hidden realms, hidden words, or if this is about communication, body language as well, like just something else about this with the communication. But I really feel like whatever is been brought up to heal, it could also be family related with this Ten of Pentacles. It is so time though with this axe, or what's the Reaper here though, this angel that's bringing death to the situation here. And the book talks about him laying the rose on the coffin, right, putting this life to rest, but it wasn't him. His life is now going on differently. Things are happening when they're meant to happen, and rather than staring off in grief, it's like take the time to process and move forward. If this is stuff long since past that should have been buried long ago, but you haven't been able to get to that point, this last little bit of Mercury retrograde, guys, is saying really allow the healing to come. take time as needed. But this brown horse is very important. I'm hearing spirit animal for some of you. Horse may be important to look up, but this morning star, this warrior spirit, any of you who are inclined to read that, definitely remember, again, like I said, there's some trigger warnings. It may bring up a lot of emotions for you. But whatever it is that you read, whatever you experience, whatever it is that triggers you, that's hiding in the subconscious, and that's going to stop you from obtaining that, peaceful, blissful world. If we allow it to rise, to feel the pain, to understand more about ourselves and why, or how this has affected our lives, and how can we let it go now. I felt like, honestly, this just great weight lifted off of me over the last 4 days, even after reading that. So any of you guys, again, things that are hidden down in your subconscious, they will cloud. Okay, so it's time just to bring endings to the things that have haunted as well, and go forward, learn the lessons with balance. And if you guys have been going in and out of like 5D, right, yeah, stay balanced, maintain your breath. I'm going to ask another message before I move on. Thank you. We get similar again, same things. So just a little bit different, right? Nurturing ourselves, nurturing others, being queen or king of our castle. But this is the queen here, right? Being nurturing. You do get the King of Swords, though. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles, nurturing. I heard stable foundations here, but she also has a pentacle, or a pentagram. I think it's a pentacle here. Right, she holds the pentacle. No one else, she doesn't look for it for anyone else. She has it. She holds it within herself. She's stable and loving with herself and others. Sorry. And also here you have the King of Swords as well. So with the 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 8 of Cups. Essentially what I was saying, okay? Highest vibration in our minds. This could also be other people in your life. Where, I feel like this is dual part of you, though, being able to think clearly and in your most mature way as you can, owning yourself and your heart, and putting a rest to these things that have entrapped you over cycles. And we get another 8 here. I'm hearing infinity. The moon is really important here as well. Okay, so as well as with this 10, there's sun coming up, but it almost, I'm hearing ashes, like rise up from this. This person, same with the death card that came out, it's done for this, okay, this situation, rather than looking at it as, grim. Whatever situation had him up there, it's over, and it is moving into, I heard, spirit realm, okay? Oh, so excuse me, I'm being asked also to bring up Dolores Cannon again. Dolores Cannon writes a lot of past life regressions and writes about what she has experienced through these, as well as a lot of the common themes. And she talks about what happens after death, essentially, and takes, with her regressions, takes people to watch after and experiencing themselves sort of floating. And, we all have different belief systems, so if I do offend you, I apologize. It's just one of these things that I'm being called from Spirit to say. So, also with this, know the energy. Maybe some of us are holding on to guilt and shame, kind of things like that is what I'm hearing, because that, I know myself, my guilt over silly things, right? Whatever it is, we each have our own things that self-sabotage. When we think that we are doing so good, and it's like this part of you that doesn't think you deserve to be so happy wants to come in and remind you, yeah, well, you don't deserve that, you're not that good, remember that? This is where it's really important to let this go, because it has trapped your mental brain way too long, okay? Let it go. Whatever it was that put swords in and weighed you down, free the spirit of that, okay? Let your warrior spirit shine. And be grounded when we communicate. And again, remember, no one else holds the pentacle for you. It's all in you. You have the love, and you are absolutely have to be willing to accept it again. As I keep hearing willing. Willing has to be the word. So I'm going to ask one message here from the Earth Magic Oracle. And for anyone who's resonated, I'm going to get the fairies. Earth magic. You need to be willing to see the magic in this world as well. Because once you start letting go of those hard things and those hardships and the stuff that, you know, could be back down to childhood demons, here again, you get ebb and flow. And that you breathe, right? Definitely important. Remember to breathe. Alright guys, the light is coming in here. But as you move with the ebb and flow of the universal tides, the energy that it brings, and this Mercury retrograde, again, it's about going back in our thought space, rethinking, reimagining, re-understanding. This could be a great time to heal